I'll give you guys a story time on how my ex-best friend faked her pregnancy and blamed it on one of our friends in our friend group. Well, I recreate this look. It's an ABG look, so hopefully I can actually get it right this time. Also, I have color contacts in. So during this time, I was in this little friend group, and low-key, we were like this back then. Like, we were always chit-chatting it up in our group chat. We would always hang out. We would always just, like, be there for each other, you know? Like, we were just that friend group. And how I met this friend group is because of my ex-best friend. That's the whole reason why, like, I was part of this friend group in the first place. And then one random night at 12 a.m., I get a phone call or a FaceTime call from my ex-best friend, and she called me and she was like literally bawling her eyes out. Obviously, I'm concerned for her, so I asked her like, what's going on? What happened? And then she was like, I think I messed up. And then I was confused and I asked her like, what did you mess up on? And she said, I think I fucked up. I think I'm pregnant. Girl, I could you not. I was like, what the fuck? What do you mean you think you're pregnant? We were like 15 at the time. Okay, well, I was 15 and she was 16 at the time, but that doesn't fucking matter. You know, little curious me, I was just asking her like, well, who's the dad? And she kept dodging the question, and I got a little bit like sketched out, cause like, why aren't you telling me who the dad is? But I asked her again who the dad was, and she went quiet. She still wouldn't tell me, and then she kept changing the subject, and at this point I'm just kind of like, what the fuck? She hung up, and then she called me back like nothing happened, and then that's when she finally told me like, oh, so I don't want to tell you because I don't want it to ruin the whole group. And that's when I was like, bitch, what the fuck? Who did you fuck? Now in my mind I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, what, who, you know, I was just thinking a lot up there. And then she finally told me yet again, and then she was like, okay, so the person or the baby daddy is blank. Okay, well, I don't want to say his name, but we'll call him Paul. And she was like, it's Paul. So a thing about Paul is that he was in the friend group and he had a girlfriend. Bitch, at this point, this shit was not even messy. This shit was fucking nuclear. And I told her straight up just to talk to him because, like, dude, if this gets out, it's fucked. It's all done for. Like, I was assisting this fucking girl to, like, talk to, like, someone or to him about it, you know, like, whatever. And she's like, she was basically, she didn't want to, and I was confused on why, but I kind of just, like, you know what, I don't know. And she was also begging me not to tell anyone, and I was like, yeah, I won't tell, don't worry, like, your shit's safe with me. Then a few days later, she acted like nothing really happened, and she just she was acting too normal, you know? And I'm just standing there in the fucking corner, and I'm just like, damn, I know this bitch's secret. And of course, Paul was there too, so I'm like looking at my best friend, and I'm like looking at Paul, and I'm looking back at my best friend, and I'm just like, this is the part where it kind of gets juicy. So basically, there was a day where I was in class, I was just doing classwork, and I get a text from my best friend, and then she was like, hey, can you like meet me in the bathroom? And I said, yeah, sure. So I go and excuse myself, and I tell my teacher like, hey, I'm gonna use the bathroom. So I go to the bathroom, right? And I see this girl like sitting on the damn dirty ass floor, and she's like, well, I want to say she was bawling her eyes out, but you can definitely tell that she was like having a rough like day, you know? And I'm just like, I just want to be a good friend for her, so I just sat down next to her on the dirty ass fucking floor where I bet every single fucking bitches just like pull down their pants and just piss on the floor. But I sat down next to her and I started comforting her, and I started telling her like, you know, it's gonna be okay, like what's going on, like is something like really bothering you? And she didn't want to tell me, so I was like, you know what, that's fine, like you don't have to tell me then, like I'm not gonna like, you know, pressure out of it. And while I'm sitting next to this dumb fucking bitch, her phone buzzes, and I low-key kind of just like glanced over. I do that to everyone, I'm sorry, like it's just like a weird habit or like a bad habit, but like I just glance over at people's phone for like a second, and you'll never fucking believe what I saw on this dumb bitch's phone. There was a text message sent to her, and it's like, I'll give you money for a And I look at the name. It's a bitch named Andrew. And I'm like, when I tell you, this bitch fucking grabbed her phone, looked at me, and then she was like, ugh, girl. I was like, who's that? Who's Andrew? Why is he talking about giving you money for that? And then she's like, oh, it's nothing, it's nothing, it's nothing. I'm like, I saw it with my 2 eyes. I know I might be blind, I'm wearing glasses, but I saw it with my own eyes. So I'm literally sitting there next to her, and I'm like thinking to myself, like, you're messing with a guy named Andrew, so why are you saying that it's Paul's kid? And then I'm over here like, oh, I think I fucked the liner up. But you know what? Moving on. Well, I'm like basically like asking her a whole bunch of questions on who the fuck that was. Like, who's Andrew? Because like, you said that this is Paul's kid, so why the fuck is Andrew talking about that, you know? And then that's when she finally admitted that like, it wasn't Paul's kid. Oh, she is actually indeed pregnant, but it's not Paul's, it's Andrew's. But she's over here saying that it's Paul's when it's really Andrew's. I don't know how to fucking do the I part, so I did my best. Anyways, I confronted her about it, and I was like, if it was really Andrew's baby, so then why are you dragging Paul into this? And I could you fucking not. She looked me dead in the eyes. She was like, well, I thought that if people knew it was him, it wouldn't be that bad. Never in my life have I ever wanted to just like... So basically, this bitch was willing to ruin Paul's fucking relationship, his reputation, and basically risk of breaking up the friend group, all because she wanted to like protect herself. I think the most craziest part about this whole thing was the fact that she acted like it was no big deal. Like, it was just like, oh, it was just like a little jokey joke. Bitch, be so fucking for real. Like, imagine sacrificing your best friend just to keep your dumb little fucking secret is absolutely wild to me. That's it for today's story time, and bitch, you will never also not fucking believe it, but this hasn't even been the worst that she has ever fucking did, because not long after this she did pull something else and it was even crazier, but that's for another story. So bye guys.
I saw a video of a girl asking if you've ever had a friend that just hated you, and I thought this was my time to shine. So I went through a lot of different like friend groups and best friends and stuff throughout my whole life, but I had one friend that I had for 7 years and one friend that I had for 4. And the friend I had for 7 years met, I started becoming friends with this other girl in high school, and I just introduced the two of them together, so then all 3 of us became a trio. And one weird thing about my school was that we didn't have, like, people weren't just, like, friends with just one other person. Like, there weren't a whole lot of that. It was a lot of big groups. So even though we weren't popular, everybody, like, knew of us because we were that weird group that, like, the weird trio. Like, I'm telling you, even teachers knew not to separate us because we were going to, like, back together. So fast forward to senior prom, we're going to call them Rachel and Ashley. Rachel and Ashley went to Ashley's house and decided that they were going to get ready together, and I got ready at my house. Now, this made sense because Ashley lived pretty far out, and I had a hair appointment in the middle of the day, so it didn't really make sense to drive all the way out there, drive back into town, drive back out there. I just got ready at my house. And if you've seen my prom pictures, you know I did Lady Gaga's Met Gala look for prom. Skipping blush and highlight because I'm doing that in a different video. So I finished my makeup, and I text a picture of it to Rachel. And she's like, oh, you need to take that off. You cannot wear that. That is embarrassing. Like, we do not want to be seen with that. And I'm just like, no, like, I spent 2 hours on it. I did not have time to take it off. I was like, no. And she was like, okay, well, then we're not going to come get you. Now, my parents had my car because one of their cars was in the shop. And I was like, you have to come get me or I can't get there. So begrudgingly, they come to my house and they pick me up. And then we meet all of our parents to go do pictures. Now, when we get there, they take one picture with me. Also, no, the whole drive over, they did not talk to me or acknowledge me. So they take one picture with me, then I get sprayed by a sprinkler and I get soaked. So now I'm crying. They do not care. They have better things to do. And then at this point, the parents are finding this weird because I'm being like completely overlooked, and that's never happened before, at least that they've seen. So all the parents are like, "Are you okay? What's going on?" I'm like, "I'm fine. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine." So we finish pictures and say farewell to our parents. So then we go to dinner. It's the most awkward thing ever. No one talks to me. So I'm just like, okay, when I get to prom, I'll find other people. At prom, some other girls hang out with us, so it's fine. It doesn't feel too awkward. Then when we get in the car to leave, Ashley looks at Rachel and is like, "Hey, do you want to spend the night at my house?" And Rachel's like, "Yeah, I'd love to." So Ashley goes, "Great, we'll drop Allie off and then we will go to my house." And that's exactly what happened.
Get ready with me while I tell you things my ex-boyfriend did and I still stayed. We met for the first time on November 1st, made it official on November 4th, and then he asked me to have sex with him that same night, on the day we made it official. Which I said no, of course, because that's crazy. We were watching anime together, and I said that one of the girls on the screen was hot. Like, I was just admiring one of the characters. And he started crying and said that he didn't think I loved him because I was calling cartoon characters hot. Literal cartoons. He cried for like 10 minutes about it and like would not speak to me. From the minute we started dating, he asked for my location and would check it constantly. He always had to know where I was going at all times. And he would get mad if I didn't tell him. If I wanted to go to Dunkin's 3 minutes down the road, I had to tell him. If I had a last-minute rehearsal, I had to tell him because he needed to know where I was at all times. And he would spam me with texts until I told him where I was going. There was one time I stayed at school for an hour longer because I was talking to my music director for a show, and I forgot to tell him because, like, I'm talking to a teacher. I'm not going to text my boyfriend that I'm at the school. He checked my location, saw that I hadn't left yet, and he accused me of hiding at the school and cheating on him with his best friend. Throughout the entire relationship, he accused me of cheating on him with his best friend. I had known his best friend for 4 years, and we were just friends. But every time I was with him, he accused me of cheating on him with his best friend. He tried to watch me use the bathroom. His bathroom was connected to his bedroom, but it was also connected to the living room. There were 2 doors. I locked one of them, and I forgot to lock the one that connected to his bedroom. He opened the door, and I said, "No, I'm not comfortable with that. Leave. Like, I don't want you watching that. That's weird." He said, "Okay," and left the door open a crack and watched me through said crack. He constantly asked for pictures and got upset when I didn't send them to him. Even, like, they weren't even nudes. They were just, like, "I want to see a picture of you in the mirror," or "I want a picture of your face." But he would only ask, like, at night, at, like, 10 p.m. And at that point, I'm in my bed, I have my bonnet on, I have a face mask on. I'm not doing that. I'm not getting up. And frankly, I didn't even want to send the pictures anyways. Like, my philosophy is there's no need for pictures if you're going to see it in person. There's no reason to risk that and get them sent around. So I was totally against it. I was like, no, I'm not sending pictures. And he would get mad at me and constantly be like, "Please, please, please, please send them. Please, I need to see it right now." And it's like, no, you can wait. He told me that he needed to be my top priority above everything and that I wasn't making enough time for him. And mind you, I was spending all of my free time with him. I did not have any time to myself because I was devoting my entire life to this guy. I do theater, so our rehearsal schedule is pretty, like, intensive. We have a lot of rehearsals. Any day that I didn't have a rehearsal, I was at his house. I'm not gonna skip a rehearsal to see my boyfriend because that's ridiculous. So he actually got mad at me when I wasn't spending time with him, even though I put all of my free time into him. He told me that I had too many friends and spent too much time with them, so he told me that he wanted to convert me to introversion. In doing so, he drove me away from all of my friends. I didn't speak to my best friend for maybe 2 months because he was convinced that I had too many friends and didn't make enough time for him, even though he was, like, the only person I ever saw. I was at his house so much that his family was like, "Don't your parents want to see you?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I literally can't." We fought a lot during our relationship, which is normal. It's a high school relationship. You're not going to expect much else. But the issue was we couldn't talk through it because he never heard out my side of the story. If he had done something to wrong me, which happened a lot, I would bring it up with him to explain why it made me upset and like, "Hey, like, we're fine. I just want you to know that you did this to me and it hurt me." He wouldn't listen to me at all and would just say that I was overreacting or like blame it on me and be like, "It's your fault. You should have spoken up." He said that a lot. He was like, "You should have told me in the moment." I did. And you didn't listen and you kept doing what you were doing to me. Because of all of this, he made a 2-minute apology video, pretty much blaming all of the things he did to me on having too much caffeine. Mind you, he had 11 Celsiuses in 1 week. He was fine. It was not the caffeine's fault. After all of this, I tried to break up with him 3 times. He said no the first 2 times, which is kind of crazy because if I'm saying I want to break up, you don't just be like, no, we can no, we're breaking up, we're done. Months after we finally did break up, he confronted me about the rumors I was spreading, which was just me telling my story because he, like, assaulted me. So I was just sharing my story, and when I explained my side of the story to him, he said he didn't remember, and he asked if I had any evidence. Evidence of assault? No. It was all in person. Do you want me to whip out an audio recording? Like, what? But anyways, I hope this was entertaining because my ex-boyfriend was actually evil. Thank God I was only with him for 2 months, but it could have been a lot longer. Finally put my foot down and broke up with him on the 3rd try. But thank you for watching, and I'm so sorry if you had a similar experience, because it actually is the worst feeling.
Get ready with me to go on my first date. I've never been on a date before. I made him like a blue one, like I'll put a picture up here. I hope he's wearing it. Little backstory, we were in the same class in primary school and our parents are friends. We went to different secondary schools, so I didn't see him for like 5 years. We kind of confessed to each other on April Fools. I can't believe that's the day we told each other we liked each other. Low-key kind of dating him in secret because my parents are not gonna let that fly. Like, if you have Asian parents, strict Asian parents, then you freaking know. You know how it is in these households. I cannot be texting him around my parents because you know how hard it is to lock in when you're talking to your fan sheet. It's so hard. This is what I'm wearing. Okay, low-key think it needs a belt. Slay! Even though like my parents are strict and they don't know about our relationship, it's kind of exciting. Oh, I have this little secret, like secret dating. Like, what kind of book is this? I'm literally living my childhood friends to lovers romance. Even though we don't get to see each other that often, like that means every time that we do see each other, it's like more special because seeing him is like a gift. I would hate a relationship with someone where everything's always serious and you can't take jokes. I also like the fact he's also as equally chronically online as I am, because if he didn't get my TikTok references, I don't understand how I could function around him. Our first date is actually to celebrate his birthday because he turned 16 last week. So yeah, we're gonna go to Kokoro and then we're gonna eat some yummy food and then we're gonna do like those clay dates. Like, I don't know if you've seen them. They're so cute. And I really want to do the daisy trend with him, you know, when you like put daisies in his hair. My makeup is like 3 steps, but low-key I hate putting stuff on my face because I'm just gonna break out. And I hate it! I mean, since we're going for like the butterfly theme, might as well. Okay, so here's the final look! I'm so excited. Wish me luck! I feel like this is gonna sound mean, but being friends with an insecure girl can be one of the worst experiences. Specifically, insecure girls who really crave male attention. The issue is they will always be in a competition with you. It doesn't matter like how pretty they are, how much they have, they will always want to tear you down and take from you. I dealt with this one girl who I thought was a really close friend. We were friends for like 4 years, I think. And at first it wasn't very noticeable because I literally looked up to her. I was like, wow, she's so pretty and she has everything. Everybody likes her. She's smart. And it wasn't until years later after I finally cut her off that I realized how toxic she was. So we usually hung out in a group of 3. And the first red flag was whenever the other girl had a crush and she expressed it, this girl would immediately start pursuing that guy, even though she had no connection to him prior. The other friend only ever had crushes on guys that she was already friends with. But this other girl had no connection to him until her friend was interested in him, and then all of a sudden she's messaging him. She actually ended up dating 3 of those guys that my friend had a crush on. The other friend just was like, okay, whatever. I think the other friend valued the friendship more than a guy, so she wasn't like willing to let a guy get in between their relationship. Anyway, I never really expressed interest in dating to her because, I mean, look at the way she acts. Also wasn't really interested in dating at the time, like it was just not a priority for me. One day she asked me about this and I said I haven't really felt the need to date. And after that she went around speculating about my sexuality. I remember there was this one guy who she thought was really cute, and one day he told her he thought I was cute. I was not interested in this guy at all. This actually really upset her and she came to me and said like, I think it's so funny that he thinks you're cute. That made me feel really bad about myself because I was like, oh, she thinks I'm ugly. She thinks that it's funny that somebody would find me cute. And that's where you can really see our perceptions were different, because while she valued so much how men perceived her,
I really valued her opinion. So her telling me that affected me more than him saying that I was cute. She would always be trying to compete with me. This goes for everything, like even career path, like classes I was taking. Like no matter what, she was always in a competition with me. It was so exhausting. It's like she was always trying to prove to herself that she was better than me, prettier than me. Looking back, I do wonder why I stayed friends with her for so long. There's really only so much you can take from a friendship, and she's one of those dangerous types of friends who tears apart your confidence. And that's why I've sworn off being friends with insecure girls who care too much about what women think of.
I get married in Spain in 8 months, and I just found out that my sister is 4 weeks pregnant.
But what the hell, boy?
And this is how I found out that my sister is pregnant.
Yes, pregnant!
Yep, in Walt Disney World. Not to mention that I found out at the same time as everyone else. So naturally I went into a full-on state of shock and did not know what to do with myself, because what the hell do you mean? Her due date is literally the day of my wedding. Well, the thing is that when we set my date, we had to pick the summer because that was literally the only day available where we can fit our entire party at this boutique hotel. To verify, I have since reached out to my wedding planner, and there in fact are no other days in 2026. And we already placed the deposit, so it's not like, Sophie, just pick a different venue, pick a different month, change your entire life because your sister decided to get pregnant. And some of you may be thinking, well, it's not her fault. She's not the fucking Immaculate Conception people. She was actively trying. To really add insult to injury, multiple members of my fiance's family have already booked their flights without insurance. And to put the icing on my wedding disaster cake, my mom told me that if I didn't move my date, that she would in fact not be going to my wedding. I laugh because I already cried about this. Her reasoning is that women are on the brink of life and death when they're giving birth. Mind you, this is my sister's second child, so my mom's second grandchild. Now, I'm pretty much being told that if I don't change my wedding to 2027, it'll create life-altering issues between my relationships with my mom and sister.
Oh, hell no.
Mind you, I'm not the one who got pregnant. And pretty much, I'm just supposed to give a big ass fuck you to everyone who booked their flights already. As you can imagine, I'm genuinely considering eloping at this point because, I mean, like, genuinely, what is it even, it doesn't even matter. And the thing is that I will be the bad guy no matter what, given this situation. If it was me, well, first of all, I would pull her aside and tell her maybe not in the middle of Disney World, okay? And second of all, I would literally tell her, like, hey, listen, I don't expect you to change your wedding because of me. Of course, as your sister, I want to be at your wedding, but like, these are the decisions that I made. Like, I don't want to put those stresses on you. But that's just the type of person that I am. Did I mention that she's also my maid of honor? It really is a lose-lose situation. So yeah, that's the nightmare that I'm living at present. I genuinely do not know what I'm gonna do. I mean, what do you guys think I should do? I don't.
Hi guys, get ready with me while I tell you things that people will not tell you about mental hospitals. I just want to say that this is my experience. I went in March of this year, so yeah, this is just for educational purposes. Okay, so the first thing that really shocked me was right in the very beginning. Whenever the police took me away, they handcuffed me. And like, I wasn't even doing anything crazy. They still handcuff you if they think that you're a danger to yourself or even others. Next thing is that as soon as you step foot into that police car, your phone is gone. Like, you will literally not get your phone back until after you get out of the mental hospital. So for me, it was like almost a week. And also, you better hope that you have everyone's phone number memorized, because they're not even gonna let you check your phone so that you can like write down the phone numbers or anything. Like, they completely take your phone away. Next thing, I did have a roommate, so I shared a room with this one girl, and it's kind of crazy because we had like our own restroom like in our room, but we could never shut the door to our room. And also the door to the bathroom, it's not even a door, it's basically just like this, like, it's almost like a mat that you can like open, and it has like Velcro. So yeah, like, you can't even lock the door to use the restroom. Another thing is that we weren't allowed to be inside of our room like nearly all day except for nap time, which we get 1 hour to go sleep or just relax like in our beds. And for the rest of the time, literally all day, you have to be in the living room area. And you just like play games all day. It's pretty fun, low-key, not gonna lie. Something that we did is we made our own like heads up, and we would all just like make up our own games to play because you're in there with no phone. So like y'all are just trying to figure out ways to like help the time pass fast. Besides just like playing games, you do go to group therapy like literally like twice a day, and also individual therapy, and you have to meet with a psychiatrist. So you're literally in therapy like all day long. Another thing, at least at mine, is that there was only one phone that we were allowed to use, but it's like one of those like old phones, like it doesn't have a screen, and we had a patient code. So like people that knew that you went to the hospital, they could call your patient code and you could like talk to them. But since there's only one phone, everyone is like constantly fighting over the phone. So yeah, I think that's like pretty funny. I'm gonna put my lip liner on and I'll be right back. The thing that I found a little crazy is how normal it is to just like trauma dump. Like literally everyone in there is gonna know all of your business. I mean, obviously if you allow them to, but it's super normal to just trauma dump with each other and just like give each other advice. And it's actually like super comforting. Like I felt so seen when I was there. This video is getting kind of long, so I'm just gonna stop there. There's so many things that I could say. In my experience, I did have a pretty good experience. I know for others, they don't get the same experience that I did, but if you're thinking about going or if you need to go, I highly recommend it. It can be very helpful. But yeah, bye guys.
Story time on the craziest girl at my high school. And I don't mean fun crazy. I know you guys have been waiting for the story times, and I'm finally all done with high school. So I'm gonna start doing like one really good one a week. I'm only gonna tell these stories from my personal experience. I don't want to spread like any false information, any false rumors. So if I don't know, I won't be sharing the information. But what I do know is that this girl came to our high school. I forget which year, but she came to our high school. She was all the rave. She was super pretty. She seemed to be super nice. I think I know why she came to our school, but I'm not for sure, so I'm not gonna say it. I never really had a big run-in with her until my best friend at the time started dating her ex. I always have heard things because she went through a lot of friend groups and there was just always some kind of drama attached to that, you know? So anyway, my best friend starts dating her ex. They broke up. She said she didn't cheat. He said she did. She said, I don't know what's true, but basically he meets my best friend, and when I tell you these two together are the perfect couple, I can't even explain. Like, they're so in love, they're gonna get married. If they don't, I don't believe in love. This girl also gets a boyfriend around the same time. They're both moved on. Great. No, not great, because she's not. She keeps finding ways to text her ex, which is now my best friend's boyfriend, so you know, it's unsettling. They're a happy couple. Leave them alone. He never answers her. He keeps blocking her. Eventually gets to the point where she literally is texting him through her friend's phone. She like sent him a song that like reminded her of him. I'm just like, what? You have a boyfriend. I remember my friend showing me like a DM where she was like, my mom saw you driving today. I was thinking of you. Like, what are you doing? Anyway, it gets to the point where she literally texts him through her friend's phone and is kind of like blackmailing him to talk to her in a way. I'm not going to say why, you know, those are her reasons. That's not for me to talk about on the internet. And my best friend is hanging out with her boyfriend. So, you know, she stands on business and is like, look, if you need to talk to him, like, I'll be right here on the phone with him, but you can call if you need. So the girl's like, never mind. So it's just kind of at a point where, you know, she has a boyfriend. She shouldn't be texting her ex. So this is where I come in. I'm very good at confrontation. I'm also very good with my words. So me and my best friend sit down and we type a long letter for her that's very nice and direct. It wasn't mean whatsoever. The worst part was the end where we were just like, look, if you need help from your ex, we're gonna have to screenshot these texts and send them to your boyfriend because what is going on? She reads the text, but she doesn't answer it. And of course we go to school that week and hear that my best friend apparently sent her some mean text. Obviously no one believed this because, you know, my best friend at the time is so on problematic. Literally, no one batted an eye when she said something. No, it goes mute for a while, and then we're at the point where my best friend's boyfriend needs his clothes back from this girl. So my friend texts her the first time and asks, and she's just like, well, why doesn't my ex pick it up? Then my best friend fought back and said he doesn't want to waste the gas. So she pulls the I'm not home right now, which is fine. So my best friend texts again and asks for the clothes again, and just saying that she'll swing by to grab them if you leave them on the front porch. Swings by, no one's there. She doesn't get out of her car. There was really no response, so she just kind of went on with her life. And the girl then said she gave away all of his stuff, which didn't make sense for reasons, but I don't want to get the story wrong, so we're just gonna continue. Anyway, this girl's mom ends up texting the girl's ex's, my best friend's boyfriend, and the whole thing is kind of complicated. Basically saying that my best friend and her boyfriend's little sister were like harassing this girl. Just everyone knows that that's not true. This girl's mom also called my best friend a horse. Like, what? Sorry, but if you're over the age of 30 and you need to talk crap about high school girls, what are you doing? Her mom has literally made so many girls feel bad about themselves, like almost bullied out of friend groups. Like, I know this is a fact for sure because I have witnessed it. But regardless of the fact, this whole thing just goes on for way too long, and I'm like walking in the hallway behind her and she just doesn't care about who's around her, I guess, because I just hear her talking about this whole scenario completely wrong. Like, she's telling the story. Oh, I messed up on those. Telling the story so wrong and calling my best friend a fan. My best friend doesn't even say this girl's name, let alone act like a fan. And I made a story time about that whole kind of interaction as well, but I've been very careful about the story times that I share because I did it once to this other girl. Actually, that girl might top craziest chick. I don't even know. I'm not gonna say that because that's mean, but I did do like a story time about homecoming drama, and she made it seem like I was bullying her because I was calling out all the bullying I went through being her friend. Like, what? That'll be another story time. I just don't understand. I'm trying to do these as graceful as possible because, you know, like, I'm not a mean person. I don't like to talk bad about people, but I'm not afraid to spill the truth. And like, right out of high school, no one probably knows who I'm talking about, but basically this whole encounter with this girl lasted like a year and a half, I swear. It's like she forgot me and my best friend at the time literally like lived through each other. Like, everything I knew, she knew. Like, it was like our lives were one, you know? So pretty much the craziest part of all that was just the fact that she still had a boyfriend. It's one thing if you're still hung up on your ex and like you miss him and are trying to ruin someone's relationship, but you have a boyfriend. And there's been other weird allegations with that relationship, but that's not for me to talk on. But I'm ready to go. I actually really like my makeup today. I think it looks super cute and summery. So I hope you guys have a great day. There's a little story time for you guys. I hope you like it. Peace out. Love you. Bye.
Let's talk about the things that I judge within the first 15 minutes of knowing you. It very quickly decides whether or not I'm going to keep knowing you. Number one, how long you've been friends with your friends, because nothing's more important to me than being a good friend. I want to say there's no bigger red flag than a girl who can't seem to keep the same friends. Talking especially switching entire friend groups. Exceptions to every rule. So like once, fine. Two, three, why? Why can people not seem to stay friends with you? So sorry, I'll be the one to say it, but you have to look at the common denominator. Just to beat this horse one last time, let me save you. A girl, especially in the first time that y'all hang out, goes, I don't know, I've just never really gotten along with other girls. There is a reason. There's a reason they have never gotten along with other girls, and they're gonna show you if you let them. I promise you, from personal experience. Number two is for girls and guys, but how you talk about your ex-partner. Even if you have a current partner, I don't care. Of course, you're gonna talk well about them because you're dating them. I wanna know how you talk about somebody that you used to love and care about and used to be your person, especially when you have a new person. Because if you can't have respect about somebody that you used to care about because you care about someone else now, you're so quick to talk bad about an ex-partner to somebody that you just met. I imagine it's not gonna be that hard to do to a friend. Specifically for guys, if a guy immediately says, oh my god, my ex was crazy, he made her. I see you every time, he made her crazy. Number three is how you respond to acts of service. And I say it like that is because it can be service workers, like a waiter or waitress, but if we're not at like a restaurant, looking at how you respond to someone holding a door for you, someone saying excuse me, someone moving out of the way, whether or not you say excuse me. It's such like a teensy way I can just tell people are entitled or not. It's probably the most important. I think I just harp on this because of my own experience. I don't effing care if you're the best person to ever walk this earth. Treat me like a person when I'm speaking. Immediately you're gone. Basically walk around my entire life feeling like I annoy everyone that I speak to. If you reaffirm that, why would I have you in my life? You're gone. And I don't know why I didn't say this, because I think within the first time meeting someone, you can say so much about them from how they receive a compliment and how they take it. Don't base the entirety off of this, but I think you can tell a lot about like their ego and humbleness, humility, how they take and receive and react to a compliment. I'm so quick to give any person a compliment because I know that it'll probably make their day. It makes my day to know
it possibly made their day. We're walking opposite ways on the street on a game day and I think your dress is cute. I'm really gonna point across the street and go, oh my gosh, your dress is so cute. I read this thing a long time ago that said throwing compliments is kind of like throwing kindness, and if you keep it in, it can turn into hate. That I've been kind of weirded out by people who refuse to throw out a compliment. Like, why not? If you think her dress is cute, tell her dress is cute. There's like the literal 1 in 10 chance that she responds like, ugh, thanks. And guess what? That tells you everything you need to know about that girl. Everything. It tells you enough. Hate the feeling of mascara, so that's all I'm putting on. That's it, and it's worked for me so far, so maybe try them out. Love y'all. Bye.